What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel where today it is time to give you my Madden review. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Last year's good, the bad, the ugly for Madden 19 was like the top viewed review video that wasn't from like an IGN or a GameStop or anything like that. And I took great pride in the fact that all the years that I have been in this Madden community, that's built up and meant something, that people will listen to my opinion and make an informed purchasing decision based upon what I say. And regardless of how my relationship has changed with EA over the last year, I mean, if you've been paying attention to my Twitter, there's been a lot of giveaways, been a lot of codes going out. I mean, I can't say a whole lot right now because I don't even really know where I stand. But the biggest thing is, regardless of whatever happens for me in my career on YouTube and involvement with EA, my opinion will never change. I am always going to be a straight shooter, and I value my word, my reputation in this community amongst all, and I hope that I will not lead you astray with this Madden 20 review. So the good, the bad, the ugly. We'll start with the good, we'll get to the bad, we'll finish with the ugly. It's going to be breaking up into 3 parts. We're going to do gameplay, franchise, and other. Other's going to be, you know, face franchise and, you know, menus and you know, just little things like that. And I assume most people here do want to hear my opinion on franchise mode and gameplay. So if you're looking about MUT, I mean, I only ever play MUT on stream, and that's very, very casual. Probably look elsewhere. So jumping into the good for the Madden 20 gameplay, generally it feels fun. Does fun mean that it's good? That's open to interpretation, but honestly, as long as EA does not patch this gameplay to death, it's going to be fun throughout its life cycle, which is something we haven't said about Madden gameplay in quite some time. Maybe back to Madden 17 might have been the last time the gameplay was kind of fun. I feel like the gameplay is smoother. There's less waiting around. Like, one thing you'll definitely notice right away is if you're going into a no-huddle offense, there's way less just clunky animations. You just get right to the point and get ready for a next snap. The time rolls off the clock and you're ready to hit the ball. I feel like that is a lot more time efficient, and time is money, especially when you're a Madden YouTuber. I feel like on default sliders right now, you can actually run. Like, it's far too early in the Madden cycle to have community sliders, so we're just rocking and rolling on default, and you can actually run the ball. And then on default in Madden 19, it wasn't until like Christmas time until you could run the ball with any way, shape, or form of efficiency. When throwing the ball, especially on slants and stuff like that, you could actually lead your wide receiver on passes so they can catch the ball with some forward momentum. In Madden 19, you get locked into like some garbage like pick animation, or just those stupid 50-50s where like the ball will throw up like 30 yards in the air and it's an incomplete pass because you and the DB were both fighting over the ball. No, in Madden 20, when you actually lead a wide receiver, like a lot of us old school players were pretty much taught in the old Maddens on PS2, and even back to like 2K5, you had to lead your wide receiver. Madden kind of got away with that. I don't know if that was an animation decision or what, but at least you can lead your wide receivers in Madden 20. And for someone like me, a little bit of an OG, that is huge for the gameplay. The gameplay generally feels less sticky, especially around the line of scrimmage. You're not getting suction cupped to anyone on the opposing team's defensive line. I mean, if there's an X factor, there's a couple like reaching abilities that those guys do possess, but that's few and far between. And I mean, they should make those plays. Like Aaron Donald, Stacks Harrison, some of these beasts against the run should be able to just destroy and be like a black hole on that defensive line and just suck up everything that's around it. But Madden 19, like a 68 overall defensive line would do that to Todd Gurley. You're not finding that in Madden 20. There's no super linebackers. They really didn't nerf the jumping LBs. I mean, there still are some linebackers that can jump. Bobby Wagner, Luke Kuechly, some of the rookies, the Devin White and Devin Bush. But generally speaking, linebacking jumping has been nerfed, and the super linebackers aren't prevalent. I haven't seen it once. I haven't had one linebacker, and I've been playing mostly on all Madden, just jump up when I'm throwing the ball across the middle of the field and just make a ridiculous, oh, this is 100% video game move in Madden 20. That's always a big positive. I always see this question asked when it comes to review time. Super linebackers. Right now, gameplay at launch, out of box, no super linebackers. And while we're on the topic of linebackers, I'm not getting that 3rd and 1, 3rd and inches brick wall tackling that we got last year in Madden 19, which was easily, for me, the most rage-inducing animation. You know, when you're the running back and you clearly have the edge where even if that guy has an angle on you, you're going to fall forward and get a first down because that's just how momentum works, but you would just get tackled and fall backwards for whatever reason. I have yet to see that, and I think out of any of the reviews that you guys are going to be able to see this week that are already out, I definitely can guarantee you I have way more hours played than anyone has been able to review this game, and I have yet to see that. So that is a big time improvement. I guess one little general thing is face a franchise, the AI actually runs, because you're controlling a quarterback. Madden 19, you pretty much just didn't want to do quarterback career modes because the AI that's controlling your running back would just hit 9 spin moves and would never hit the hole. Or the wide receiver would always run out of bounds. It'd be like afraid to run straight up field. They have clearly fixed that because if they still had those issues in face a franchise with it being that big of a selling point, no one would play it because the gameplay was terrible. So they fixed that. And the biggest thing for the gameplay is X Factors. X Factors do their job. Superstars feel like superstars. And I feel like the biggest issue for Madden, and they still kind of have it, and we'll get to it in the negative, is that every team kind of generally feels the same. There's no unique play calling. But Superstars at least mitigate that a little bit. Like, we use the Kansas City Chiefs. Right now, the Chiefs and the Saints aren't going to really call that much different of a game plan. But because Patrick Mahomes is an X Factor, and on the Chiefs, where you might get 3 straight slants, for example, time and time again, Mahomes might flick on that X Factor and will throw a big-time deep ball to Tyreek Hill, catch you sleeping, and you're going to go, oh, okay, wasn't prepared for that. He got me. So it kind of feels a little bit unique, which is something that Madden has desperately been lacking, especially when you get a head-to-head versus, like user versus AI gameplay. So that is a big positive. And generally speaking, I know there's going to be a polarizing feedback on X Factors because there are going to be people that want their Madden to play like a true, I want it to play realistic. Or there's going to be people that say, hey, it's a video game. I kind of want it to be fun. I want it to play like a video game. That's the side of the spectrum I'm on, because I truly believe if you had a realistic, 100% realistic football game like some of the people in this community really, really desperately want, that game's going to be boring. And I don't want to play that game. I don't want to play a game where a healthy 3.4 yards per carry is like, oh, that is awesome. Like, that's not going to get my rocks off. I want that little bit of get the adrenaline going, have fun, make big-time plays, regardless of, oh, Khalil Mack is going to sack me 9 times because I'm not making proper in-game adjustments. I want that in-game adjustment to try to stop Khalil Mack. I just don't want, oh, it's realistic. Khalil Mack will get a healthy 3.5 sacks because he's truly dominating. I feel like, that is what it is. We've had that in years past. Well, the gameplay has not been realistic either. So the fact that it's kind of gone more on the extreme side, to me, makes the gameplay more fun and ultimately is a big time positive. Superstars feel like superstars, and it gives you something to grind towards in your player progression. Going to the good for franchise mode, Fog of War has been slowly leaked over. Obviously, I'm not going to go through a big rigmarole about Fog of War. Look into Fog of War and NHL 19. Guaranteed most of you listen to it. If you don't know what it is already, you desperately would love to have that in franchise mode. Well, the Madden devs listened a little bit. They added the Fog of War to the rookies. So if you draft a rookie that is a star, superstar, X Factor development, you have to play 500 snaps to unveil what his dev trait is going to be. This is huge, and it's a big step in the right direction. More Fog of War going forward for franchise mode. The scenarios, which are kind of the second biggest thing added to franchise mode, they really are limitless. I mean, I've been told from certain people, trust me, that new scenarios are going to be patched into the game throughout the game's life cycle through your cloud franchise modes. That's huge. It's like the first time franchise mode is getting like live. It's not really, but it kind of is live updates. I mean, so many times, how many people complain that, oh, well, MUT gets continual updated. We get nothing for franchise mode. They're trying to give us something, and that is going to be huge because they are constantly monitoring what feedback and suggestions for scenarios that they can implement in the game. I know Deuce Douglas, top community member, has a forum and a post going on Operation Sports for people to submit scenarios that could very well be implemented into franchise mode. Like right now, you have scenarios that affect morale. You'll have veterans take rookies under their wing, and it'll help their development. You'll have, do we take a rest during a bye week? How do we deal with opponents' X factors? Like right now, it's this kind of the tip of the iceberg. It's the most dangerous and poor thing you could almost say in a Madden review is it's a building block for future games. They're going in the right direction, but that truly is what the scenarios are. There is so much room for them to grow and implement in these scenarios. Like, here's an example. Imagine if they had trade requests. If you pissed off a player, he won't play for you until you trade. Like, just trade me right now, like a Le'Veon Bell kind of thing, or an Antonio Brown. Surprise retirements. Imagine if you're like the Chargers and you figure you still got 2-3 years with Phillip Rivers, and then one day he comes in and says, I want to retire. I'm not playing anymore. You instantly have gone from I'm in a Super Bowl window to I have to just straight out rebuild. That is going to be huge for franchise mode. I feel like, generally speaking, franchise mode needs more negatives. It needs more challenges, more hurdles for you guys to try to overcome. and it's just really been so cookie cuttery. So I think with this scenario engine, it really opens up the possibilities to add these unique storylines that can drastically change the tone, setting, and future of your franchise mode. So because of that, that is a huge positive. 5th-year options are coming soon. Moonlight Swami said on the beta feedback Twitch stream that they're going to be adding 5th-year options to first-round draft picks, so that is big. Miami and Washington don't ruin free agency anymore with like audacious 120-plus point bids. So it's fun. You can actually have a chance at getting some of the unique, fun players. No dev trait regression. It seems kind of extreme, but if you had to pick the worst of two evils, I'd rather them just have no dev trait regression at all versus what we saw in Madden 19 where you could have, like, say, a DB that got 7 picks was DB of the year, but because he didn't get enough tackles, he falls from a superstar dev trait down to a star dev trait. So as long as, that's gone, I guess, it's good. It's fine for the time being. And then going into the other for the good, the menus and scoreboards, they were refreshed. I kind of like them, but that's a little bit more personal opinion. The college section of Face of Franchise was really well done, from the onboarding to the nostalgia of playing in a college football game. Also, the mode is generally designed to get people that don't play franchise mode to play franchise mode, because after you're done all the cinematics and college stuff, you get booted right into a franchise mode. So the more eyes, the more attention, the more potential new users that can hop into franchise mode. That's only going to beef the feedback numbers that Madden gets and EA gets, saying, look, we have this huge uptick in franchise mode users. Face of Franchise must have worked. Hey, maybe we could put a couple more hours in the dev cycle towards franchise mode so that maybe Madden 21 can get a bunch of new features and the love that it really, truly does deserve. And lastly, the new rating scale, it does add a little bit more challenge to team building. I don't think it's nearly as drastic as it was kind of made out to be, but generally speaking, it is a positive. It really helps separate and kind of doubles back upon the X factor, where superstars feel like superstars and just developmental guys and just depth players really do this year feel like developmental guys and depth players. Next up, to the bad. I don't get a lot of bad. I felt like this game was either it was good or it was ugly. So for the bad, for gameplay, I enjoyed the gameplay, but I'm gonna be honest with you, there's a small chance, I feel comfortable in saying that it's fun regardless, but there's a small chance that I'm really almost overjoying the gameplay because Madden 19's gameplay was so bad that this, just by comparison, is like, wow, it's so much better. But there's a chance that this gameplay is just in relative to other Maddens, even the good Maddens. It's just, okay to good, not great. And it's just, the honeymoon phase of we're finally out of Madden 19's terrible gameplay, that Madden 20, by comparison, is really, really good. But again, regardless of how much you can measure good or bad, the gameplay, in my opinion, is fun. The franchise mode for what's bad. Pro Bowl returning is generally the big back-of-box feature for franchise mode, and this all comes down to everyone in this community that's been requesting it. They finally listened to devs to a community feedback for franchise mode, and they put in Pro Bowl. Now, I don't know what sick moron kept putting this at the top of their list, but it was there time and time again. You look at Operation Sports, you look on Twitter, YouTube videos, people say, put the Pro Bowl back. Where's the Pro Bowl? It was back in NFL 2010. Why is it in this year's game? I never played the Pro Bowl. I always seen the Pro Bowl. I thought no one else played the Pro Bowl, but I guess there was a big enough segment that said, hey, put the Pro Bowl in the game. No matter how much the devs would say it'd be way too hard on the hardware for them to put the Pro Bowl in, they said, screw it, let's spend all this time to put this top community feature in the game. And that is why we didn't get anything else new in franchise mode, because they listened to the small minority of losers that kept telling people to put the Pro Bowl back in the game. So I hope for all of you that have been diehards to play this stupid mode, play it so much, because you got what you asked for. You made the bed that we all have to lay in for the franchise community by getting the Pro Bowl as our big feature. There's still no historical stat tracking. We've been asking that for a couple years. Truth be told, the last time it was in the game, I liked it, but it was always kind of buggy. So, it just makes the bad. Another year kind of a failure to capture the excitement of the NFL draft. The NFL draft, in comparison to other sports, is like the most exciting draft in the world. But in Madden, it's just not very exciting at all. There's no blockbuster trades. There's no players that have a storyline of like, I'm not going to play for you, don't draft me. There's no even teams trying to trade up. So I feel like maybe this is another way you could pony it up on the scenario engine to make the NFL draft truly feel special. Regression still feels overly harsh, and there's no regression slider, so you can't really do anything about it. For an example, I saw Aaron Rodgers at 38, still playing like a top 5 quarterback. He was a 78 overall. That puts into the Tom Brady hypothesis that if Tom Brady didn't exist in real life but was a Madden quarterback, there's no way he'd be like a 95, 96 overall. That's just not within the mechanics of the game. You're going to regress at a certain age, regardless of your performance in Madden. And I feel like that shouldn't be the case. So here's a scenario. Here's a potential alternative. Add an ability, like a superstar ability, whatever you want to call it, where you can get to a certain age and don't face regression. Like I feel like right now regression is a broad stroke. Like it will encompass Aaron Rodgers, like it will encompass, you know, a 38-year-old that's just been a depth player for his entire career. And that really shouldn't be the case because, you know, Tom Brady. So again, that'd be really cool if they could expand the superstar abilities and the star abilities to say, you know, it's like a veteran one where once you reach a certain age, you face far less regression than you would if you were just some Joe Blow depth type player. The division with some other, there's more face of franchise. I mean, face of franchise is designed to ease people into franchise mode rather than be a full-on career mode like it kind of was, I don't want to say sold to as, but kind of hinted. There's no real replayability because you're only a quarterback. There's no real punishment or chase to being said quarterback once you make the NFL, regardless of your first round pick or a 7th round pick. The game is designed for you to be the starter as soon as possible. The combine wasn't a combine at all. It was just a glorified skills trainer. And pretty much the best thing from the feature outside of playing college football is like they have really in-depth character customization where you can make your face, hairstyles, all that stuff. That needs to be in every mode. That needs to be in the offline creation tool that you can do just right off the main menu. That needs to be in custom draft classes so that we can actually make the prospects look somewhat close to what the college player does look like. So I just feel like generally face a franchise, it's better than long shot, but it's not a career mode. And now to finish with the ugly. The ugly for the gameplay. AI is not unique. When it comes to play calling, X factors save it from really every team feeling the same, but it still isn't where it needs to be. The Patriots don't dink and dunk it. The Giants will abandon Saquon Barkley for whatever reason. The Saints won't screen past Alvin Kamara. The Baltimore Ravens or Pittsburgh Steelers don't blitz like crazy like they do in real life. No matter the tweaks to the gameplay, it will never truly be where it needs to be unless teams get specific AI to cater to their strengths and try and minimize their weaknesses. Like, I want a different experience week in, week out based upon what opponent I'm facing. And until that gets put in, I am personally not going to be satisfied with the gameplay. The gameplay is fun, but for me to say the gameplay is fun and good, you need to have unique AI for each individual team. Mobile quarterbacks also don't run in the sim. I mean, if you watched one of our rebuilds, I think we saw Kyler Murray, who will run when you're playing against him, but in the sim, for whatever reason, they just won't run at all. Lamar Jackson will finish the season with 4 rushing yards. That is absolutely garbage. They've come out on the stream and said a fix is in the works. They are aware of this issue. But this was an issue in Madden 19. It shouldn't have carried over because the cover athlete in Patrick Mahomes is arguably one of the more mobile quarterbacks in the game, yet he doesn't play like it. Imagine an NBA game with Steph Curry on the cover, but when you sim, he doesn't shoot 3-pointers. Like, what is the point? Fix this. It is a glaring issue. It's an issue that wasn't in the game in Madden 18 where on this Frostbite engine. Something is just wrong in the code. Get it back to Madden 18, please. Quarterbacks that don't run, that should be running, completely kills all immersion. It just doesn't make sense. And last thing, literally for ugly in gameplay, RPOs on my computer stutter. Like the graphics stutter. It literally looks ugly, so I'm not a huge fan of that. Going to the ugly for franchise, it's largely untouched. There's nothing much new because of, I'm going to guess, the Pro Bowl. They added nothing new to the relocation process. No expansion, no creative team. Scouting mechanics are exactly the same. When you look at NHL right now, look at how much depth is to their scouting. Look at the fog of war. It's literally like if you're putting it on a rating scale, Madden scouting, Madden's offseason is on rookie difficulty, whereas NHL, it is on all Madden. It is far and away better. And I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. I don't know why NHL puts so much love and care into their franchise mode, and we just can't get the same right now for Madden. We're not getting treated. Come on, Daddy, spoil me. I kind of feel like this was the one year for Madden franchise to get on the coaching carousel hype train. NHL, their big franchise mode feature this year was coaching carousel. And then for Madden, we've been dying for coaching carousel. When we found they're going to take a top community feature and put it in the game, we're like, it's going to be coaching carousel. It can't not be coaching carousel. And then it was the Pro Bowl. I mean, I feel like in general, the developers face too much of a blame. You look at any other negative review or any other review for Madden, they're always just saying, why are the developers so bad? Why are they so stupid? You need to realize that like most of these developers have played NCAA. They might have worked on NCAA. They probably have played 2K5. They know what needs to go in the franchise mode. It's just about what gets approved come the next dev cycle for the next game. So I would personally just say direct your hate at the powers that be at Madden. Not so much the dev team, because like I said, the dev team knows what needs to happen to make franchise mode where it should be. It's just all about what gets approved. And sometimes you might get the coaching carousel. You might get a lot of fog of war. And other times, you'll get the Pro Bowl. So I gave Madden 19 a 5 out of 10 when it all was said and done. And for me to give Madden 20 a score right now, I'm going to have to give it a 6.5 out of 10. It's fun gameplay. X players are awesome. There's enough different and connected franchise modes, especially with the scenario engines, to say that it's not copy and paste. While it's pretty similar, the scenario engines still give you a different taste, and it is unique, but there wasn't enough done for franchise mode. We clearly saw that they were weighing a lot towards fixing the gameplay this year. It absolutely had to get fixed for Madden 19, but as a core franchise player, I just can't in good conscience give this game an 8. Like right now, the gameplay feels like it could be an 8 out of 10. Right? But the fact that they didn't touch my bread and butter, they just didn't touch franchise mode, I can't in good conscience give it an outstanding grade. I can't recommend to all you guys out there that predominantly probably play franchise mode that this franchise mode alone is worth you to go out and purchase this game. If you want a game that has a better franchise mode than Madden 19 and way better gameplay than Madden 19, go out and get Madden 20. But if you're looking for a robust, in-depth franchise mode experience and you don't really care about gameplay, maybe you're a heavy sim guy, probably not for you right now this year. But if you're about gameplay, the game's fun, I'm enjoying it, I'm gonna have a blast, I think, in this Madden 20 cycle. Definitely go and get, like I said, 6.5 out of 10. It's a strong 6.5 out of 10. And I'll tell you this, if they continue throughout this year to A, not nuke the gameplay with patches, and B, implement some big time scenarios like they have said they would include in patches. They start adding some scenarios that, like I said, a surprise retirement, a surprise trade request, which I think is completely within the realm of possibility. This game will shoot up to a 7 out of 10. But for right now at its current state, it's a strong 6.5. I would recommend buying it. It's an upgrade over Madden 19. I think it's the best game for Madden on next gen. So that's between Madden 17, 18, 19, and now 20. It's the best football game on the market. And do with it as you will. So thank you guys for tuning into this stream. I hope you stick around if you're your first time stopping by for all of my Madden 20 content, the rebuilds, the Raiders franchises, the streams on Twitch, and everything in between. The content is going to be rolling. The draft classes are going to be coming soon. So I hope you guys like to stick around for the ride. We're very close to 100,000 subscribers. So hopefully we hit that sooner than later. Thank you for watching. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.